So to start with the big question, how is it possible that one can grow through to 1 million paying users in
Mhm.
Africa over such a short period of time? Because I remember when Selar was founded, I think it was somewhere around the pandemic or something.
Mhm.
I remember when Selar started, and from now till date, a lot of companies, are still struggling with those kind of numbers.
Sure.
So, what would you say is the overarching strategy that really helped to get to that number that you had to embody as a CMO?
Yes, I mean, I think the first and most important thing is having a product that works. And I shout this and I say this every time on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I pray people finally listen to me. But having a product that works is will actually help you drive your growth. The first time I used Seller was to receive a payment from my clients in USA, and it worked. Literally, something I've been struggling with for like a very long time. Worked with Seller, and when I worked, I went to WhatsApp, I went to Instagram, I went to Twitter. I was talking about Seller. I was like, oh my god, this product is a lifesaver. And I realized that I wasn't just the only one. Every other person you were talking about Seller as well. So having a product that works will actually make people talk about you. So it's a product worth talking about.
What
Yeah.
would you say is a couple of effective strategies that are budget friendly ways for
Mhm.
startups to or businesses generally to acquire their first few customers
Yeah.
in kind of market, in an African market that is somewhat difficult to sell to people?
Do your research first of all. Get to even before you start anything, do your research. Secondly, use the internet in your favor. Content. One thing people don't realize is that on the internet, if you really want to be successful over there, is actually putting out amazing, amazing content. So content is something that will actually help you, grow really fast and expose your brand to like new set of people. And when I say content, I'm talking about Instagram, I'm talking about TikTok, I'm talking about Twitter, I'm talking about all of these platforms that enables you to like create and execute content. So we have all of these webinars, creator summits, IG live, Twitter space conversation. It's not because we don't have time to do other things. It's because we know what we are doing. If we're having a Twitter space conversation or a webinar on IG live with someone like Trisha Bees or Philadelphia Toye or Steve Harris, they will obviously post it on their social media channels. Then when they mention Seller, their followers will check us out and want to learn more about what Seller is doing. So all of these are like very cost-effective ways. It's just you sending your pitch to people and saying, "Oh, hey, I'd love to have you come on this conversation and talk about X, Y, Z." That's one. Two, you have to be very creative with your content. I made a post on my Instagram and Twitter. I was holding a banner saying hire marketing talents from Blur. Like it was literally on the road, holding something like that. I posted it on Twitter and lots of people started retweeting. These are unconventional ways to actually capture people's attention. You have the internet, you have data on your phone, you have Twitter, all of these platforms are free. So the question is, how can you start creating content on these platforms to capture the attention of your target audience and bring that your target audience into your business? People sleep on partnerships. At Seller, partnerships is very like we are so big on partnerships. We've had partnerships with Money Africa, Sendpost, Florida Wave, Ingressive for Good. Just lots of amazing, amazing platforms. And it's very strategic. Yes, they will come and buy into our audience. We are also buying into your audience as well. Yeah.
So, in your experience, what are the most promising digital platforms that startups in Africa today can use, and how can they prioritize, their efforts to have maximum reach and reach as many people as possible?
That's a very tricky question. Let me
I
tell you
know.
why. Let me tell you why. When it comes to the most profitable digital marketing platform or like growth channels, I can't say it's A or it's B or it's C because businesses are different, right? When you understand this, like your customers and target audience, then you will know where these guys are located,
Yeah.
right? So you know, okay, are my customers located on Google? Then I need to start creating SEO based articles. I need to start running Google ads, YouTube ads, and all of these things. And my customers on Instagram, if they are, that means I have to start like go on Instagram and start creating content for my customers, speaking language that they can relate to, doing things that they can relate to. Seller, most creators in Africa right now are Gen Zs, like Gen Zs and millennials. Like most creators, Gen Zs and millennials. And Gen Zs and millennials love very, interesting kind of content compared to the baby boomers, right? So
Mhm.
we tend to create those kind of content for our target audience that will help them understand our product.
So, how important is it for startups or businesses, growing businesses generally, to understand the local like market nuances in Africa, and how can they leverage these insights to enhance their customer acquisition strategies?
So that's great. Thank thank God that you brought up this question, because this is something that I need lots of African business owners, African startup founders to learn. One
Mm.
thing I need us to learn is that the strategies that works in the Western world is not going to work in Africa, right?
Hmm.
The marketing strategies, all the books that you're reading about Facebook and Instagram and Tesla, there are different policies in that market. These guys, they can create a subscription product and people will literally use their credit card to pay for this product. How many people have credit cards in Nigeria? That's a very valid question. How many people know about credit cards?
How many platforms offer credit cards?
Exactly. Exactly. So you really need to learn, and like you need to learn the nuance of the place you're operating from. So for instance, we are increasing our presence in Kenya right now. So we are on like a East African expansion. So we are speaking to Kenyans, to Rwandans, and all. And the strategies that worked in Nigeria, they are actually not working in the Kenyan market at all. Because
Interesting. This is
yes,
very
because
interesting to me because
like
we're actually doing an East African push very soon at Halisi. So thank you for this insight.
exactly, because like these are like different cultures. We like they have different problems. They have
Hmm.
the problems people are going through in Nigeria is not the same problems people are going through in Rwanda, East Africa. We really need to also work with the locals as well and use the internet in your favor. See trends. Go to do your research. Go to use SEMrush, use Google keywords research, and just Google Analytics and all of these platforms. Look at your competitors. See how they are marketing. Look at the channels that they're using. See the language that they are speaking. Study their product and their services. Look for loopholes and see how you can use your own products to solve those problems their customers are having using their products.
Hmm.
Then start so everything that so all the computer research that you've done on your competitors, use the strategy and just implement it and make it better.
Every type of
Mhm,
business, encounters challenges when they want to really scale because it's
mhm,
easy, the easy thing, which is okay, we have the MVP, the business is working, while improving our products, day by day, and we're having some customers, which is great. We can all just manage this and be okay, right?
mhm,
But then if you're really ambitious, you want to scale, like we want to scale across the world. I mean, we're already doing some of that. We have clients in the US and the UK, but we really want to scale across Africa, which is one of the reasons why I'm very excited about this conversation. So, what are the common challenges that startups or businesses generally would face when scaling across Africa? And how can they overcome these challenges when it comes to increasing their customer base?
Okay, that's a very good question. One of the most important things that you need to consider before you start scaling is, are you ready to scale? That's a very important question because most people scale when they've not built the capacity to scale. So, for instance, speaking from a product-led organization, how well are you doing with your customer support, right? How many people do you have on your support team? So, if you're saying you're serving, let's say, 500,000 Nigerians right now, and you want to scale to South Africa, do you have the capacity to handle customers when they actually come in? Are your infrastructures ready? Like your Google Cloud, is it like sorted out, and your hosting and everything is everything? So you need to look at your technology, your infrastructure, your manpower. Like these are like the most basic things. So you need to understand, okay, do I need to get a license in this market, and or do I need to partner with someone to help me get a license? And that's one thing most fintech organizations are doing, partnerships to leverage on other people's infrastructure so that they don't have to pay the whole license fee, which is very smart. So you need to look at the licensing, you need to look at the policies in our market. What are the business policies? How is it going to support my business? Are there things that I should be doing in this market? So again, scaling, you don't have to say that you want to scale into a new market and actively start engaging a market. You can
Mm.
also just acquire another business. We can use an example of Stripe and PayPal. Stripe wanted to increase their presence in Africa. And you're like, okay, instead of us going through the whole stress of doing that thing, let's just acquire another organization. So they acquired Paystack, which has literally enabled them expand to the African markets and also help Africans to also expand to that market. Win-win for everyone. Then you can also consider, okay, before I start scaling into a new country, have I exhausted all the options I have in my country? Right? Okay, if I have clients in Lagos right now, how many clients can I have in Abuja? How many clients can I have in Port Harcourt? How many clients can I have in Delta? Right? So you need to consider all of these things as well. Then when it comes from a product-led organization, you also need to start thinking about features, right? Are there new features that I need to create for this new market? I also need to understand the language of the market. Don't scale too fast. Don't scale too fast. Scale a little bit. See the interaction you're getting with our market. See the feedback that the market is giving to you. Use it, implement it on your product, and keep scaling gradually.